organized by Eastern Himalaya Travel and Tour Operators Association in collaboration with India Tourism Kolkata. We have a special person who has been conducting online programs on new normal hospitality with us the past 3 weeks. Dr. Anshuman Chatterjee, thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
We'd like to give a brief introduction about our guest here today. Dr. Anshuman Chatterjee, he's been the doyen of hospitality education in our country, an academician since 1988. He taught in IHM Kolkata, or a college of Government of India, for 21 years, while served different colleges as principal and director. And our honorable guest is also a director of IIS Siliguri. So thank you very much, sir, for giving us so much time. You've been great. This would be our last session on this program, New Normal Hospitality, organized by Eastern Himalaya in collaboration with India Tourism Kolkata. So, sir, thanking you in advance once again, and I would request our honorable secretary just to guide us further. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Kumar. Again, it's a great opportunity and a great pleasure and a privilege to welcome all of you to this new normal hospitality program that ITWA has been organizing in association with India Tourism Kolkata. As you are aware, most of you are aware that we have been doing it for the last 4 Mondays. In fact, we choose the first day of the week so that we are all fresh. It is we are locked down and we are at home. So this is some activity we thought we would bring for the stakeholders, not only for ITWA, but a lot of people who have joined us as we have moved forward in this journey with India Tourism Kolkata. As always, it's an absolute pleasure. It's my honor to again introduce Mr. Dr. Anshuman Chatterjee. Dr. Chatterjee is in hospitality, is one of the very senior consultants. And as always, we are very, very happy to welcome you here. Welcome, sir. And we look forward to another engaging and very professional session on transport operators this time. Before we hand over the session to Dr. Chatterjee, let me just inform all of you, please mute so that, there's no background sound, so that it's easier for Dr. Chatterjee to conduct the session. Secondly, please note that we will be form the session. You all need to just fill up the form, because that form will be used to issue the certificates for the participants. The certificates, as you know, will be issued by India Tourism Kolkata. And after the sessions are complete, now that we are into the last session, we will issue the certificates by September 10th, and it will reach you online in the email IDs that you have provided for the various sessions that you have participated in. We would also like to inform you that, if you must be having questions for this session, as Dr. Chatterjee moves into the session and he conducts the session, whatever questions you have, please put it on the chat box. Kumar, our moderator, will take the questions at the end of the session. And we all hope that we have an engaging session. So over to Dr. Chatterjee, sir. Please start your session. And thank you to all the stakeholders who are participating today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sandipan Ghosh, Mr. Kumar Lama, for welcoming me again. And I must pay my compliments that you are one of the associations which has taken out, extracted the maximum benefit out of all these, sessions that are being organized by India Tourism. I have interacted with the members of some other organizations also, but yours is the one which has taken care of all the important relevant sectors of the tourism industry. So congratulations to ITWA. and the members, good evening. There is actually, let me start by saying nothing special about these sessions. Only thing is, we all have been sitting at home. We all have been thinking about what is going to happen to us. Are we finished? You know, that sort of negative thoughts have been coming to our minds. And this sort of sessions, when we all come together, talk, discuss what is the way forward, it energizes us. We can, we can think actually of, moving our business forward even from these horrible times. When I say horrible times, it has actually been horrible not only for the Darjeeling Hills or Bengal or India, but for the whole world itself. It has been a horrible, horrific time. People have suffered, industries have suffered all over the world, and it's not only the tourism industry, though tourism has been probably the hardest hit industry in the world. One reason being that tourism cannot be operated like a factory. Tourism cannot be operated like a shop. We can't tell people come one by one and maintain a 6 feet distance, not more than 3 people inside a shop at a time. Such regulations we can't make for tourism. For tourism to happen, to take place, we need people-to-people contact. People would come in, not in 1 or 2 or 3 such numbers, but in groups, in hordes. Only then this industry survives. And when I say survival of tourism, I don't mean only the tour operators or travel agents or the transporters. I mean even the secondary or the tertiary industries. I always, I know a person, that's why this example comes to my mind, somebody who manufactures tissue papers, a very simple thing like that. Somebody who manufactures tissue papers supplies to the hotels and restaurants. He has closed his small factory for the last few months, and the people who used to work in his factory are jobless. Similarly, like those who are the entrepreneurs, businessmen, for them it has been bad, and it has been probably even worse for the employees. I have received so many distress calls from all over the country because I've been teaching for a long time, and I have thousands of students everywhere in all countries, almost in all countries. So I've been receiving a lot of distress calls. Sir, please give me something to survive. I booked a flat 6 months back. Now they will evict me. I have 4 mouths to feed and I don't have any money. He's a simple waiter in a hotel earning 15,000, 20,000 rupees a month. And he has lost his job. Those who have been able to retain their jobs, to keep their jobs, even they are not getting their full salary. Today, I was talking to the general manager of the Oberoi Grand. He was telling me they are completely restructuring their manpower costs. So people are getting 20 to 50% of their salaries at this moment. So there is, despondency, distress all around us. Not only in the hills that we have been suffering through this. But when I talk about these negativity, these are dark clouds. And I, as a person, have always believed that there is always a silver lining behind any dark cloud. And, our media channels, TV or our newspapers, they would not talk about the silver lining. They would not talk about the brighter things because bad news sells much faster and they need to take care of their TRP. So they would continuously be selling bad news to us. But we as businessmen, we as employees in the tourism sector, we need to look at how do we go forward from here? Now, first, let me start with a very simple piece of statistics. Everywhere I have seen, even the media channels, they have been talking about, we have lost 10.5 million foreign tourists, inbound tourists. Fine. Yes, nobody can come in 2020. This is 2019 figure that I'm quoting. I have seen a number of channels, a number of newspapers, inflating this and making it a big issue that in 2019, we had 10.5 million foreign tourists coming in, and they will not be seen in 2020. So where do we stand? Not a single channel, not one of them also mentioned that in 2019, 26 million Indians traveled abroad, and not for work. I am talking about for pleasure and leisure. For pleasure and leisure, 26 million Indians traveled abroad in 2019. In 2020, they are not going to go anywhere, not to Europe, not to the USA, not to the Middle East, not to Southeast Asian countries like Thailand, Seychelles, or Maldives. Where are they going to stay put? They are going to be in India itself. And these people are going to travel. So first thing, as a integral part of this industry, we must realize that we have lost 10.5 million tourists. We have gained 26 million tourists, that is 2.5 times. Now we must gear ourselves, we must prepare ourselves to deal with a surge in the numbers. I'm not talking about falling numbers. I'm talking about a surge in the numbers. That means the numbers are going to increase. Numbers in what terms? In terms of domestic tourism. Now, will it increase today? Will it happen today or tomorrow? No, definitely not. How is this then going to happen? Let us discuss that, and let us see then how, as transport operators, we must follow all the protocol that has been issued by the Ministry of Tourism. Now, as I look at it, how it is going to happen. Let us take a small family. Let's take my family, the example of my family. Me, my wife, and my son, the three of us are there. Now, during this last 3-4 months, during the lockdown period, I have been going out, even from the first week, because I had to go to the market, to the shops, to buy things for the family. My wife hasn't gone out. My son hasn't gone out. For them, it has not only been a physical confinement inside their homes, but even mentally they have been confined. For work, I started traveling in July. In July, I went to Siliguri and came back. In August, I did the same. And in September again, I'll be going to Siliguri. So for work, we are going out, not for pleasure or leisure. So my wife was asking me, you have been going out, can't we go out for one night, for a weekend somewhere? I said, of course we can. But now then, where do we go? That is the main question. And how do we minimize the contact with different people while we are traveling? So where do we go? We will not go to Rajasthan. Definitely not. We will not go to Gujarat. We will not go to Kerala. We will not go to Himachal. We will not go to Goa. Because this will mean long distance traveling and coming in contact with more and more people. Then where will we go? We will take probably my own car or hire a car from one of the transport operators and then go to a distance which is motorable, which is a destination which is reachable by a car. And if I go by a car, I'll be traveling with my family inside the car. Nobody else, not coming in contact with anybody except the driver. And maybe, because I was talking to a friend of mine, maybe his family in another car, or we'll hire a larger car like Innova or something, and then we will travel together. So small groups. We can now travel, with confidence, with no fear of traveling in very small groups to destinations which can be reached by a motor car, not by train or by flight. That means now we have to gear up. It has already started. because I have already noted, I know people who have already started traveling, because we all have been in a pressure cooker condition. I always call it a pressure cooker condition. You know, we have been put inside a pressure cooker, and the pressure cooker with some water in it has been put on fire. And what is happening now is pressure is building up inside, and the whistle would blow any time. That what is happening with my family members. The same is happening everywhere, all around. I am sure in the families of the people who are sitting here today, the same thing is happening. So we have to, utilize this opportunity. This opportunity is arriving. It is just arriving in front of us. Now, how do we go about it? As I look at it, you know, if you look at the topic of even today's this webinar, it talks about new normal. So when we say new normal, we are using two terms, new and normal. So let us first look at what this normal is. Normal means pre-COVID times, when we did not have this deadly virus, confining all of us in our homes. Before that, let us take 2019. So 2019 was the normal, and now we have to open up and we have to reach the 2019 figures. This we are calling as new normal. How do we look at the new normal? Generally, with my experience, I say that let us divide it, because everything is not going to become exactly the same as in 2019 overnight. It will happen gradually. We are not into lockdown anymore. We are going through now unlockdown process. One by one, the unlockdown is happening. Slowly, the sectors are opening up. Even 1st of September onward, some more relaxations are going to be put in place. So things have started. Now it depends on us how we prepare ourselves. So as I was saying, there will be probably three phases. There can be sub-phases, but broadly there will be three phases of this new normal. The first phase, which has already started, is the initial phase. What is happening in the initial phase? People are, they have started coming out of their homes. Slowly, more and more people looking at the others, they are also going to travel. But where? No long distance traveling. They will be traveling to motorable distances. And here, the transporters would play a big role, much bigger role than any other sector in the industry. Why? We are coming to that later. You see, if I have to go out with my family, I need to have the courage. I need to have the confidence that my transporter, my tour operator is going to take such care of all these health and hygiene issues that we are going to be 100% safe. Safety is going to be the new mantra for the new normal. So first, you have to convince me. If I am the tourist, you, the tour operator, the transporter, need to convince me that, yes, sir, your travel, complete travel will be as safe as it is inside your home. We will ensure that. That means such a message needs to go from all of us. Many of the transporters, as I have been given to understand, as I know, are also tour operators who are transporters also. But there are standalone transporters who collaborate with tour operators, and their vehicles work in this industry. So those who are the tour operators, we have already discussed this issue a lot, that we need to now reach out to people. Sir, the new normal has started, and the new normal means healthy normal. It is not the old normal. It is a more healthy normal, which has already started, and these are the measures we have taken. Even the transporters need to say the same thing, even to the tour operators. Transporters who are standalone transporters must tell their collaborators, their tour operators, sir, you see, this is how I am getting my vehicle ready. This is how I'm getting my driver ready. And then you can always avail of the services that I provide. Because very soon, there is going to be a rush of these travelers. Very soon means any day, there is going to be a rush of this sort of travelers. And we must be ready for that. And as I say this, we must also know then what we should do. We have to, what we should do to generate this confidence among the tourists that yes, I'll be completely safe while I travel. Let's take the case of a tourist who will be traveling from Siliguri, say, to Takda. I've been to Takda. I've traveled in the Darjeeling Hills extensively because I am also from North Bengal. And let us say this tourist will go from Siliguri to Takda because this risk he can take. While he is going to Takda, he has to be given the best of the hygienic environment so that he has the confidence, yes, I can travel. You know, even in my house, we take so many precautions. They are taking such precautions even while we are traveling. Very good. Then what are the preparations that we take? Now, suppose as a tourist, I contact either a tour operator or say directly a transporter that we are planning to go to Takda. 2 families, I need 2 cars and or 1 big car, we are 6 people. The government is not allowing more than 15 people to travel together, so we are 6. What sort of arrangement can you make? Now, what you tell me on that will depend a lot whether I would actually travel or not. You have to then tell me what the measures you have taken so that we all feel safe. What these measures are? First is that before we take the car to the person's home to pick them up, that means when we are coming out of our garage, the whole car needs to be disinfected. Now, a lot of us may think that why, do all that hassle? We will tell the tourist that it has been disinfected. It is possible. We all are human beings. But my point is that when we take these measures, when we do everything to make our environment safe, do we do it only for the tourists? Absolutely not. I consider it that our lives are as valuable as the lives of the tourists. We have to do this for our sake also. It is not just for the tourist. So, first thing is that we must not have any such idea in the mind that we can bypass 1 or 2 protocols. We can, but we should not. Because then we are putting our lives also in danger. So, the whole car needs to be disinfected thoroughly. If people have traveled in the past, we need to keep the doors open. We need to start the car and we need to start the blower with the vent open. There is a mechanism in every car when you can run the AC either with the vent closed or the vent open. Like when it is closed, the air circulates inside only. That is now completely banned. We should not ever do that because the virus can get itself deposited even in the AC ducts. So first we must air the car by running the blower at a high speed before we take the car out, and then disinfect the car. Disinfect the car thoroughly. All the touch points, wherever there can be a human touch, needs to be disinfected. The seat, the back of the front seat completely, the sides, the insides of the doors, the ceilings, the, the pockets on the sides, the pockets or the grooves for water bottles, everything in the front, the windshield, the window panes, the window glasses, the handles, the switches for operating the window up and down, everything needs to be sprayed with a disinfectant. And there are disinfectants available now. We need to spray. We don't need to wipe. Earlier, initial days, the disinfectants which came to the market, we needed to spray them and then wipe the surface also. Now the disinfectants that we have, we don't need to even wipe them. Now, this is this is something which is cost intensive. Even formulas are available. In fact, one is available in the Government of India, the India Tourism website also. We can make, because we are going to need them in large quantities, we can make them ourselves also. It's making these disinfectants and sanitizers is pretty easy. The formulas are pretty easy. You can find a number of formulas on the net. I suggest that because this time is coming when we are going to see a surge of local tourists, domestic tourists, we must try and make our own disinfectants and sanitizers. So this has to be done first. The whole car. If the car is being operated, the AC duct needs to be cleaned every week, if possible twice a week, even for the buses. In a bus, not more than 15 people would be allowed. And if they're not from the same family, there has to be a gap in the seating arrangement. So maybe in a 30-seater bus, we can take in about 15 people, because we need to 15 or 20 people, not more than that, create, leaving that gap. What exactly is happening to the airlines at this moment in all the flights? The middle seat is kept vacant. So that is one point. It is better, even then, I suggest, if we use disposable seat covers and disposable headrests. They are also easily available in the market now. Earlier, they were not so easily available. Now I have checked, though I have not checked in Siliguri, but I have checked in Calcutta. They are very easily available now in most of the auto parts shops. So I'm sure that if they are available in Calcutta, they would be in Siliguri also. So please look for them. This will generate confidence among the tourists. If a car comes to pick me up and I see that there are disposable covers, I'll ask the driver, what do you do with the disposable covers? Sir, we have a biohazard garbage bag. Once you all are safely into the hotel, I will take these out and put them in the biohazard bag and dispose of them. Not disposing of like taking them and putting them into a dustbin. No. Even these biohazard bags are available in the market. Please use them for your own health safety. So biohazard bags are very important. And I came from Siliguri last week, and I took an Uber from Sialda station, and I was very glad to find that they have installed separators inside the car. I had seen this earlier also, but now all the Ubers also have separators. So I will suggest the transporters to install separators inside their cars. These are very simple. We have seen face shields. They're being sold everywhere for 15, 20 rupees. They're available. It's a band going around the head and covering this much of the face. It's the separators are made of the same material. Materials are not expensive. They have clips which can be clipped with the ceiling of the car. And, you can create separators like between the driver and the front seat passenger and behind the driver, so that the driver is also separated. And because these separators don't go till the floor, they don't obstruct the air conditioning system. They hang till about the shoulders of each person. That is the main, vulnerable area. So this is how we prepare the car, and we carry, disinfectant in the car. We must carry hand sanitizers in the car for the tourist, for the driver, as well as some, additional extra disposable face masks. Why this? Because we might get a tourist who might, stop during the way for some tea and refreshment, and just he might drop his mask or lose his mask or whatever. So we must, anticipate such emergency situations and be ready for that. And if we can tell the tourists at that point that, sir, don't worry, I have disposable, stock of disposable masks, I'll give you one, and give him one mask. So, but it must be disposable, not one of those cloth washable masks, because we can't take it back and carry it with us. So this is how we prepare the car. Now the car is prepared fine. I am the tourist. I am expecting the car morning, 9 o'clock. I will start with my family from Siliguri. The car arrives. We are still, we are thrilled that we'll be going out after 5 months. At the same time, we are scared. Now we are going to be with someone who is not a member of the family. We don't know how hygienic that person is. That means this driver who will bring the car will call me, sir, the car is here at your door. This driver is now representing the whole tourism industry in front of me. Not the hotel owner, not the hotel employee, not the tour operator, not the travel agent, not the transporter. This driver is the only representative who is going to tell me whether I would have the courage to travel. So I will first look at the driver. Let me see how, am I getting confidence while I look at him? So now the drivers, we must ensure that our drivers are well trained. We must train each one of them in maintaining 100% hygiene. Whatever was earlier, now people will be more cautious. If you ask me, I'll look at even the nails of the drivers. If the nails are not cut short, I will have, I'll be in two minds about traveling in this car, because if this driver doesn't have his hygienic habits, I don't know how much of disinfection, etc., what he's telling me, how much of it he has himself done. Should be, shaved that morning itself, should have shaved, should have taken a bath, hair, well combed, and, very clean. I'm not saying expensive clothes, very clean from top to bottom, including one's shoes. I must get, a very clean and healthy appearance from the driver, because my experience starts from now. This is the moment of truth for me. This is the wow moment for me, that whether I look at the driver, good. If this expression comes from me, in my mind, good. Then I will tell my family members, come on, let's go. But if I have some doubt about the driver's hygiene, health, I might cancel the tour then and there. Simply pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry, I'm not getting the confidence. So this driver has to give me the confidence. See, nothing, everything, all this booking of the car, everything has to be done digitally. There is no exchange of papers, nothing, not even money, no cash exchange. So, this driver, he has to be, he has to have a medical certificate, not in the form of a paper, but whosoever I have hired the car from has to send me the medical certificate of the driver. This additional burden we have to take, because this will give the tourist tremendous confidence who I am traveling with. I know about my wife, my son, I don't know about the driver. The driver will also carry a temperature gun with him. Again, you see, this is all confidence boosting. He will take the temperature of me, my wife, and my son. He has to take the temperature, because we must not be running a temperature higher than the approved point. So I will be, this is all a hassle, small hassle for me. Oh, we three are standing and he's taking the temperature. But in my mind, I'll be very happy. Oh, they're so careful. Very good. You see, that is the common expression from my mind. So then the driver will see, sir, how many pieces of luggage you have? I would say two suitcases. Sorry, and one handbag. So he will take out the disinfectant spray and he will disinfect my luggage then and there before putting it in his car's trunk. Because I am bringing it from somewhere, he doesn't have the confidence whether that suitcase is safe or not. Because he's going to touch that suitcase to put it in the trunk. So he disinfects it first. All the time, he is wearing a pair of gloves. So he puts the suitcase, both the suitcases in the trunk, and then tells me, sir, the whole car is disinfected, and I will disinfect it from outside once more, and you also please be careful. And he must ensure that all three of us are wearing the masks. Without a mask, he should not allow us to enter the car. So what he will do now, he will now spray the disinfectant on the door handles. Because the door handles are the ones which we, are the driver, we are going to touch. So he's going to disinfect the door handles. So then we will get in. What are the personal protections that the driver should be using other than the gloves? He should be wearing a mask, of course, which should cover the nose and the mouth. But here, I have been telling everybody, because I have many doctor friends, we have been discussing, there are 3 points in our body which are, vulnerable to this virus. One is, of course, the mouth. It can enter through the mouth, so the mask. It can enter through the nose, through the mask again. But it can enter through the eyes also. Eyes are equally vulnerable, and most people are not taking care of it. Those of us who are using glasses, spectacles, we have an automatic protector in front of our eyes, but not everybody does. So either we should wear a face shield, which is going to be a problem for a driver, because the driver has to look through the windshield, and in between the windshield and his eyes, if there is, at a distance, if there is a plastic sheet, he is going to have vision problems. He can't use a face shield. So what should he use? He should use a driver's goggles. We have these easily available everywhere.
Hello, Sandipanda.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical issues with his net. Let's wait for 1-2 minutes. I guess he's trying to re-log in. So
Okay.
Please don't go anywhere. I think we're in the middle of a good session. So we'll wait for 1-2 minutes. If he can I'll just contact him in the meantime. So if we can just have some patience, we'll just get back to you in another 2 minutes. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah. We'll just hope that he comes back in.
And I think we have a couple of questions also in the chat box.
Okay.
And maybe we have very lots of our people from Kolkata part also. Maybe Sandeep Chaurasia, he's been asking about auto shop where disposable seat cover and are available in Kolkata. I think sir would not have any idea about that, but in our group, if anyone knows, then maybe we can put that in a chat box as well. So
Pravidha, if you have some idea.
Pravidha would be the best person.
Anyone can just go to any parlor See, parlor nowadays, they are using all kind of disposal, seat cover, disposal, everything. So you can get the idea where from they are purchasing. That much I can share with you. Because as of now also, we are not using any disposal seat. But apart from that, everything we are using, what sir was talking about, everything we are using, but no disposal seat and no this baggage, this bio baggage, what I was talking about. But apart from that, everything we are maintaining.
Same here.
Okay.
Actually, that
Okay.
what actually sir told that I know of some shops in Kolkata who are selling those. That was the reason why I asked sir, he can please name at least one shop, because it's the same thing as Prabhuita is mentioning. We are using all the, we are following all the protocols excepting this thing. So just wanted to inquire whether it can be available in Kolkata or not. As
Sure,
just
we'll
because sir
we'll
mentioned.
check
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
We'll check
yeah,
that with him once
yeah,
he's
yeah.
back.
No worries, no worries.
I think one can. I think one can order through India Mart also, because I personally consume some sheet of disposable patches from India Mart for my office. It is easy to get at your locality.
Good information, Shayan. Good information.
Thank you.
Sayan.
Thank you.
And if you
Thank
get
you.
in the chat box, I suggest, Dr. Chatterjee is joining us in another 2 minutes. So in the meantime, Shayan has made a very, very valid point and very informative. So if you can just put that in the chat box, or perhaps others could be benefited.
Definitely.
Right. Or maybe Sayan, you can put the
Okay, we'll
link.
do.
That would be more better actually,
Yeah, I guess I should put that on in our WhatsApp group basically.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay. Perfect.
The chat,
That would be nice.
also in the chat,
Okay.
because there are few people here who are not part of ITHWA. So I think that will help them also.
Okay. I will do that, Sandipanda. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please just bear with us for another 1-2 minutes. Let's see if Dr. Chatterjee can come back. He's having some issues with his internet. I just spoke to him. In the meantime, if someone has to suggest something, because this is the last session we are hosting in this new normal hospitality series. If some of the members who have been regular participants, if you can share your experience, perhaps you can share what we could do further, because this was something that we felt that was a lockdown experience and a lockdown achievement or a lockdown training that we could go through. So if somebody would like to in the meantime, just to make up time, if some of you can share some experience, it will be nice.
Shandipan, I want to share one thing actually.
Please.
Yeah, here with due respect, whatever the sir is now sharing, all the information is very good, awesome. But keeping all this thing in mind, but like nowadays, as the diesel has come up around near about
77.99.
right.
79.12. I took it
Yes,
today.
yes, near about 80 rupees.
Yes.
And apart from that, so whatever the measures we have to keep in our vehicle. But the main problem, what I am facing actually, I'm talking about only for my company, that nobody wants to give us the rate what we are asking. Even nowadays, only due to this COVID, they are asking more cheaper rate, and people are talking that, are you crazy? You are asking this much of rate. There are a lot of vehicles are going on in empty. So can somebody just elaborate on this issue, like what we can do? It's nothing related with the these things actually, but only we as a association, what we can do, if anybody has having this very good idea, then we can fight.
Dada, we'll come back to that. I think we've got Dr. Chatterjee back.
Very good.
So we'll just continue with the session, and we'll come back to the questions, and we'll definitely on the subject that you just put up. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm extremely sorry. I apologize to everybody. Suddenly, the broadband connection that I have at home that got disconnected. So I've connected it through my mobile now. I hope my voice is audible and the video is working.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the time lost. We'll make it up. I was almost at the end of it. We were talking about confidence boosting measures, which are not only just going to give confidence to the tourists, the travelers, but save ourselves also from any sort of danger. Now, as transporters, we need to also collaborate. You see, if if I'm a tourist, I have booked my own hotel myself where I'll be staying, and now I have hired a car. So the transporter is not really related to the hotel or talk about the hotel, whatever I have chosen. If I booked it to a tour operator, fine. Now I'll be picked up from my home and I'll be dropped at the hotel. So this part is I am taking care of my home. The hotel will be taken care of by the hotel employees. But what about if it's say a journey from say Siliguri to Takda? What about stopping at some point and having some tea and some refreshment, using the washroom? Such needs can arise. Can we stop the car at any point wherever the tourist wants and allow them to get down and use the facilities? We cannot, because as transporters, we need to have the confidence in the facility there that these people going down, having a cup of tea there, using the washroom, coming back to the car, my safety is going to be looked after. I'm not even talking about the tourist safety. I'm talking about my safety. I'm the driver. Even my life is as valuable as the tourists' lives. I also have a family to run. So I need to be very, very confident, 100% confident about the safety measures put in place by that refreshment room. This, if we are standalone transporters, then we need to collaborate with such refreshment rooms. If we are tour operators, we need to do the same. For example, if we are starting from, say, not even Siliguri, say from Jalpaiguri, and we'll be going to Takda. So in between at Rohini, around that place, there is say a Santa Banta Dhaba. So can we collaborate with them? Can we tell them that, I can bring tourists here and for tea and refreshment, but you need to convince me that you have put all the safety measures in place so that I can in turn tell the tourists that, sir, I'll be taking you to a place where you can be 100% safe, you rest assured. So we have to collaborate with that, with such similar joints that, their washrooms, they are using only disposable cups and disposable plates. Their employees are all wearing face masks, face shield, gloves, etc., everything. And the whole place is disinfected. When the tourists enter, hand sanitizers are given. When they leave, again, hand sanitizers are given, sprayed on their hands, and so on. We can even insist, boss, you install a foot-operated hand sanitizer dispenser there at your entrance as we come. No employee, spraying it in my palms, but you install a foot-operated dispenser there. It will be good for all of us. I will bring tourists to you, but you need to take these measures. So we need to do all this now, because once the tourists come, we'll not have much time. We need to do all this now. We should collaborate now with the tour operators, with the hoteliers. If we are tour operators, we should collaborate with the hoteliers on similar lines and with the refreshment rooms on the way. So we need to do all this, and the more confidence we give to the tourists, more they will come out. Because if I go with my family and I have a safe tour, I will come back and I will tell 50 other people, I'll write in so many WhatsApp groups that I have now traveled and it's so safe to travel. Such and such tour company or transporter, they made excellent arrangements. Everything was so safe. At every point, they were taking care. So, these are the things that we need to do. First of all, we need to, we are actually, more than physically, we have got mentally stuck. Many of us. When I traveled to Siliguri in July, so many people, they were telling me, why should you? Is job more important than life? That sort of, sentimental questions. I told them, no, job is not more important than life, but life will run only if my job runs. So I need to work. And if I need to work, then I need to be safe also. Of course, when I traveled by train, I did not depend only on the railway sanitization and disinfection process. I carried my own disinfector, my sanitizer, and before I took my before I occupied my seat, I disinfected the whole area wherever I could possibly touch, and everywhere else, like I did that. So my point is that we need to generate this feeling of safety among the people, among the tourists, and we ourselves need to be confident that yes, now I am safe. If we do these two things, we should be able to generate business in no time. It is going to happen any day, anytime. I'm so glad I was reading somewhere that the other day, people from these tour operators and travel agents from the hills, you have probably written to the GTA for relaxation in norms. Otherwise, this whole the economy of this whole area is going to suffer further, because it's a hugely tourism dependent economy in the hills. So I believe as associations also we have a role to play in terms of convincing the GTA that lockdown should be lifted now. By keeping people separated, we can't control this virus. There are other things that we need to do, because this virus will come and then stay and then kill us. So this is the initial stage of the new normal. I said that I generally look at it at 3 phases. This is the first phase, where people are going to travel by cars, and here we transporters are going to play a big role, the biggest role. In fact, the driver is going to play the biggest role, not the people who are sitting inside their offices. Now, in the second phase, we are going to see more traveling. Like people from Calcutta will come to the hills, which is not going to happen right now in the first phase. So as we can predict generally, I've been talking to many tourism experts also, and taking a sort of a consensus that this is going to last, this initial phase, for about 2-3 months. That means by towards Puja or after Puja, around Diwali or so, the second phase will start. That second phase means people will be traveling outside their home stations, home states, and taking up domestic tourism will start picking up at a great speed. Also remember, by this time, that means by the end of this year, we are also expecting vaccines to come in the market. Why we are expecting? We normally, all of us know that vaccines take a long time to be found. It takes a long years of research, and then we can get a vaccine. That is how we have seen. And the last such pandemic we have not seen, like we know about, was 100 years back in 1918, the bubonic plague. After that, we have seen a little bit of epidemics, but not a pandemic like this. So now, at the same time, in every country, all the bioscientists, they have focused all their energy into only one task, that is finding a vaccine for this. This has also never happened in this world. No, in the last 100 years, all scientists in the world working on the same project, it has never happened. This has happened for the first time. So this vaccine is definitely not going to take years to come. It is about a matter of months. Already 26 such vaccines are going through their final phase of testing. That is the third phase. They need 3 phases of testing, and they are going through the final phase. So any day, anyone, could be Oxford, could be the Russian one, even could be an Indian one. So who knows? Let's hope for the better. So one of these vaccines is going to be there in the market before the end of this year. And once that happens, the domestic tourists will be out on the roads like dogs, like they will sort of be out with a revenge in mind, that now let's explore. Let us go out. Let us enjoy the fresh air. Let us enjoy an environment outside our homes. We have been confined for too long a time. So that is going to be the second phase with domestic tourists. And the third phase or the final phase of the new normal is going to be like exactly the old normal. We will go back to the 2019 normal next year, sometime by February, March, it is going to happen. The normal thing will be back, but still we'll call it new normal. Because you see now this, all these health and hygiene measures that we have started, why should we stop them? There is no reason to stop them because these are good practices. Today we are suffering from COVID-19. In 2021, we may see a COVID-20 or a COVID-21, who knows, or some other virus. So once we have started with these good practices, the best practices, we should not discontinue. This, as associations, we must decide how much of it we can discontinue and how much of it we should, we should continue to have even through 2021, 22. So this is how this new normal is going to shape up. Initial phase with local traveling, the middle phase with domestic tourism, inland tourism, and final phase exactly like 2019, but with health and safety measures put in place. So this is going to be the new normal. Let us all sit down, make our strategies, prepare ourselves. We should not even talk to the tourists before we prepare ourselves. The moment we talk, tomorrow I want a car, can you give? Now you think about where to get the disinfectant, where to get the seat separators. No, we must prepare ourselves absolutely ready. And then we must also prepare our literature, video clips, whatever the tour operators are doing, the transporters are doing. We must reach out to the tourists saying that, sir, ma'am, we are ready for you. We will create your small home inside the car itself. Not to worry. Inside the car, we can even put do's and don'ts for the passengers. So all such measures, whatever measures we can take, we must. So I shall conclude, by saying this, that let us not sit at home in despair. Let us plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow means I'm actually talking about tomorrow, not in a metaphorical term. Actually plan for just tomorrow and the day after. Thank you very much. And I could hear some questions also, which when I got disconnected, it happened, but we can discuss, we can take questions now.
Thank you very much, sir. It was lovely hearing you. Am I audible, sir?
Absolutely clear.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So that was a lovely session, sir. We enjoyed all your sessions. This would be the last of yours. So we thoroughly enjoyed and got lots of knowledges, like the numbers which you've given us regarding the movements and the people, how many people were traveling outside the country and all. So that gives us a good positive thing that the many people will be traveling in our region. Mostly domestic part would grow, I believe. So that was a very positive point. Even I felt better. I never thought that way, sir. So thank you very much for hope. And we had a couple of questions, sir. And we want your suggestions also. If you have any idea about it, like people were looking, wanted to know if you know anyone in Kolkata who can provide us disposable car seats and all. If you know, you can let us know. It's just it's just a suggestion we want from you if you have any idea on that. And a couple of questions were raised. Let me just go through it, sir. One moment.
Yeah, I'm also going through the questions.
Okay. Yes, sir.
One thing that I can see a request, Mr. Chaurasi has requested if my number can be shared. Absolutely, yes. Mr. Lama, you also have my number. Sandipan,
yes, sir.
Have my number. Please share with everybody. I do not mind. I have the WhatsApp on this number itself. Anyone, because as I said, I also belong to North Bengal, and I simply love the hills. I have driven my Honda City to every corner of the Darjeeling Hills. Can you imagine going to Tabakoshi in a Honda City? I have done that. No driver, I have driven myself. And that is how I love the hills. So anything, even one word from me, if it can be helpful for anyone from the hills, I will feel honored. That is how I feel about the hills. I have conducted live training courses, 2 courses, one in January, one in February, with the homestay owners in Darjeeling under MSME. So I came in contact with a lot of homestay owners also. They're also, fighting for survival now because a lot of things have taken place. So please, without hesitation, please share my number, and I can write it also here. No problems.
We'll share it, sir. No problem, sir.
No issues.
Okay, so we have one question here. If you could see that Prabhakar Thapa, his question is: there would be a huge cost rises with the fuel, taxes, EMI, insurance, salary, and adding sanitization facility and all. As there are transport company in Chilwi who owns at least 100 plus vehicles from them. How to control cost for a long run, sir? So yeah, this can be a question because people are now, as Praveer also was telling us that now since everything is the diesel price has gone up almost 80 rupees per liter, sir. So but still people are expecting lower fares. So this is obviously like one major question.
You see, this is the major question, and
Yes, sir.
this is most relevant, most pertinent, and probably the most difficult issue that we all are facing. And it's not only in tourism. Today, if we go to the market, we are buying simple potato in the Calcutta market for 35 rupees a kilo, which was before the lockdown, which was the particular species that I'm talking about. It was less than 20 rupees a kilo. It is now 35 rupees. And the worst part is I can't even bargain with the potato seller because he is also buying it at a particular cost and then he's making his profit and selling it. So we are accepting it. I have just given the example of potato. It has happened with all the vegetables, all vegetables. So that means there is a general increase in cost of almost all commodities. And the income has taken a nosedive. That is the problem. Had the income also been commensurate with the rise in cost, then it would have been all right. Now, as tour operators or as transporters, we have so many costs. Now we have the additional cost of disinfection and sanitization. Now, how do we then look at this business? We cannot run it at the same cost. So, one, we have to see, is there any area in my business, any area where I can cut down on cost? As I was saying, sometime during my talk, that I was talking to the general manager of the Oberoi Grand today. He had been my ex-student at some point of time. So he was telling me that, sir, we have to cut down on cost of air conditioning. We have to cut down on cost of electricity. We are identifying areas where we can do that. And unfortunately, we have to do some salary restructuring also for some time. That is not a permanent measure. But for some time, we are going to request all our employees that please take a cut. I said, that's very bad, Sumit, because it's going to hurt. Yes, sir, it's going to hurt. It's hurting everybody. So all of us will together, we have told the management, the owners, the Oberoi Group, that we know you are suffering, no guests, such a huge empire to maintain only, it's so expensive, but you are suffering the loss, we will share with you. We will take some salary cut, we'll share with you. So I'm not saying it's a same measure to be applied here, but I'm saying that we need to introspect. We need to sit down with our accounts book, last year's account book, and we must find out the places where we can reduce the costs. This is one part. How do we make profit in a business? There are only two measures: reduce the cost, increase the sales. Just these two measures are there. There are many things, many micro things that we do under these two heads, but these are the two basic heads. So reducing the cost, this is not possible to advise sitting here what exactly to do, but we need to look at our own accounts books and see where all we can make some compromise and reduce the cost. Now about charging the fare. One place where I have seen what happens in Siliguri also, People undercut others. They don't come under one umbrella, and a lot of undercutting takes place. That should be stopped, at least for the time being. People should be under some sort of an umbrella and charge the same. There should be a same charge. It's not that, sir, he will take, you see, 30 rupees an hour, I will charge you 25 rupees an hour, and somehow grab the customer. This should not be happening. Then we will not be able to make a profit. But it is inevitable that we need to increase the fare, not even keeping it at the same point. I was giving an example to the homestay owners that suppose we are selling a product for 100 rupees and our cost has been 70 rupees. We have been making a profit of 30 rupees. Now suddenly our costs have gone up to 90 rupees and we are left with only 10 rupees. How will I manage with 10 rupees? So I have to earn a little more. May not be 30 rupees, but I have to earn a little more, not 10 rupees. So I start selling it at 110 rupees. I tell the customer that, see, sir, everybody has suffered. Even we have suffered very badly. If I could give you at a less than 100, then I would have given you and taken the business. But that is not going to happen. You have to, in fact, pay 110 now. It will not remain 110 after a few months, but now it is 110 because my costs have increased manifold and I am not earning the amount which I was earlier earning. Even I am making a sacrifice of 10 rupees. You see, now the customer is paying 110. My costs are 90. So I am making a profit of 20 rupees. Earlier, my profit was 30 rupees. Now I'm making a profit of 20 rupees, less profit, and charging a little extra to the customer. He is also losing 10 rupees by paying additional 10 rupees. So we have to accept the fact that we are coming out of this pandemic and we shall not be making the same profit as we were making in 2019. We have to reduce the margin of profit. We have to reduce the cost also further. And like today, this general manager Oberoi, he was telling me, sir, we are not trying to increase the, the tariff for the customer. We are trying to absorb that loss. We were discussing this 100 rupee example only. And he was telling me, sir, we are trying to take our earlier cost was 70 rupees. Now it is coming to 90 rupees. We are trying to bring it down to 80 rupees by making the earlier cost 60 rupees. So this 20 rupees additional cost with disinfectant and sanitizer, this we cannot avoid. So this is going to be there. So from that 70 rupees earlier cost, if I can bring it down to 60 rupees, additional cost of 20 rupees, so it comes to 80 rupees. I earn 20 rupees profit instead of 30. So in that case, I can charge the customer exactly 100 rupees. So that is also an option. That's why I said that we need to look at our own accounts books. I'm sure that if we do a thorough study, if we have the experience, we'll be able to find out areas where we can, reduce our costs.
Great. Thank you very much, sir, for that. We have one more question here from Sharmila Singh.
Yes, Ms. Sharmila Singh. I can read it.
Yeah, right.
I will tell you. India,
so is it possible, sir?
Yes, it is. What they're doing now is, you see, we have never seen India tourism so proactive earlier. I have been connected to India tourism since 1988 and have seen many directors there. I have not seen a more proactive India tourism department. And, they are, planning things, doing things, trying to reach out like these awareness campaigns, though they're writing training programs. These are neither training nor programs. These are simply awareness sessions, discussion sessions. I look at it this way. So the point is that they are already what you are talking about, a campaign of safe tourism. This is all a part of that campaign only. This is all a part of the campaign. They are also planning to shoot vlogs. They were telling me that vlogs on hotel reception, hotel housekeeping, hotel food service, then how to prepare a car. what all to install in a car, to make vlogs and then spread out the vlogs. So I hope all of us know what vlogs are. Like blogs are written ones and these are video blogs. So the campaign is already, it has already started, but with the state government, I really can't comment on that, because how much help that will be with the state government, that also I don't know. Because this department is working very nicely. They're trying to help. They're trying to reach out to people. They're organizing these webinars with not only with the trade bodies, but also with college students. You know, those who are studying tourism, those who are studying hospitality, they're also suffering from a lot of anxiety. They're suffering from depression. So we have been talking to them also, and all this is being organized by India Tourism. So they're already running a campaign, and I'm not sure Ms. Singh can further say why she wants the state government to be a part of. State government will have to start. I don't know whether they will start or not really.
Okay.
Kumar, if I can just ask a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Sure, definitely.
Also in the chat box, and I feel it's very relevant. Sir, Vakar Thapa has asked here, and I think very, very pertinent question, that we all know that the drivers are the first point of contact for the tourist, as they have always been. And now in the new normal, I think it's even more important that the drivers, behave in a particular manner which should be streamlined and should be trained. So do you feel that any sort of training is necessary for drivers? Because as you say, classified 3 categories of the new normal, how we unlock. And in the first category, mostly people might be traveling by their own vehicles. And there could be vehicles, commercial vehicles as well. So in the case of commercial vehicles, is it not a responsibility of the employer to let the driver undertake some training? So maybe an institution or an association like us, or perhaps the government itself, like India Tourism has been doing so. Can any sort of training be organized for drivers?
It is not only that it can be organized, it should be organized.
Right.
Every employer must ensure. I think I did mention while I was talking that we should train our drivers in this, in all this that they need to do. You see, as it is when we travel, roads in the hills for the people in the plains, they're scary. So the passengers feel that they have, sort of kept, given their lives in the custody of the driver. So a lot of mental dependence is already there on the driver. So, and now it is further so. Why did I say that I will look at the nails of the drivers also? Because I'm from this industry. Everybody might not be scrutinizing that thoroughly, but I will. And they will look at the general cleanliness also before a word comes out of the driver's mouth. Has to be shaved. Then I said that, bathe, the hair comb. The more I see that the driver himself is a very, hygiene conscious person, a very clean person, more confidence I'll have. And regarding behavior, that is, that is universal. That has got nothing to do with COVID. If I get a driver who doesn't behave properly or who doesn't talk properly, I will definitely lodge a complaint and probably never go back to that transporter for appointing such a driver, for sending such a driver to me. That if I can see that he is not a well-behaved person, then his employer definitely knows. How could he, even after knowing, send such a person to me? So I'm not saying all tourists are hunky, they're all good people, not that. But again, a guest is always God, Atithi Devo Bhava. We are trained in it. And in the hotels, a lot of things happen. Someday, if we get time and we'll sit and we'll talk. A lot of guests come, those who create trouble in the hotel. But as hotel employees, they have to still, address that person as sir or ma'am and deal with the problem. So there are many such situations. The tourism person cannot lose temper at any point of time. He just cannot lose temper. Even if he has to be firm with the guests, say about wearing a mask, he can't be rude. He can only be firm all the time, saying sir or ma'am. So the big difference between firmness and rudeness. So all these points of training, definitely it is required. Because as I said earlier, that driver is the representative of the whole tourism industry in front of me. Whole tourism industry, everybody, I don't know, but I thought nobody, just that driver is tourism industry in front of me. I will make all my assessment and that moment of truth. My whole assessment will be done there. So it's very, very important. Mr. Prabhakar has very correctly pointed out.
Thank you very much, sir. It's loud and clear to us. What should we do regarding our transport and all? So I guess that's all. I think we don't have more questions as of now. So, sir, it was really honor speaking with you, and it was our pleasure hearing you. You were wonderful in all the 4 sessions and all the time which you gave us. Like it's very, very valuable for us. Your experience is something no one can match. So I would like our General Secretary Sandipan Ghosh to kindly conclude. And once again, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Kumar. And as always, and very rightly said, it's been an absolute pleasure to have Dr. Chatterjee for 4 sessions. Very enlightening, very, very relevant points you have put out, sir. And I'm sure all the stakeholders who have participated in these 4 sessions have been benefited. We, of course, will, be coming up with more such programs in the month of September. So please stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Heathrow Vision. That's EHTTOAVISION. So where you can get updates about the forthcoming programs and all the the programs that we organize. Let me also take this opportunity to thank India Tourism Kolkata. Mr. Shagnik Chaudhary has been the brainchild behind this new normal program that Heathrow suggested in the month of May that we should have an online certification program, and this was without the support of Mr. Chaudhary, I don't think that would have been possible. Of course, Mr. Shayak Nandi has always been very, very supportive. Everything that we do and we try and initiate, he is always there as a support, for us. So thank you, Shayak. Both Mr. Chaudhary and Shayak is not here today, of course, but I'm sure they will be conveyed our best wishes from Heathrow. Thanks to all my members. Thanks to the stakeholders who are not part of Heathrow yet, but we think of you as a family. We love interacting, and we look forward to your participation in the future. Thank you all, and we are closing the session for this month of August. We have had a very, very good participation, and we thank you all for that. So we close the session today. Thank you and good night. And we look forward to you for the future once more. Thank you.
Thank you.